The Breakers is the crown jewel among Newport, Rhode Island estates. This grand summer cottage of the Vanderbilt family is the most popular attraction in the entire state of Rhode Island, visited annually by over 450,000 people. In this video, we'll delve into its history, check on its abundant outdoor and indoor amenities, and discover the intricate peculiarities of this renowned symbol of the Gilded Age. A bit of history. First, what's the Gilded Age? It was a period of showy materialism and apparent political corruption in the USA during the 1870s. The magnificent mansion was built in just 2 years, from 1893 to 1895. Despite the opulence, the Vanderbilt family used the Breakers primarily as a summer cottage. It was a place for the family to escape the heat of the city and enjoy the cooler climate of Newport. The estate is huge, comprising 70 rooms. Its gross area is nearly 138,000 square feet, and there are 62,000 square feet of living area on 5 floors. Cornelius Vanderbilt II purchased the sprawling grounds in 1885 for $450,000, which equals nearly $15 million today. That was a hefty investment, but Cornelius Vanderbilt II was a wealthy man. His grandfather, Commodore Cornelius Vanderbilt, bequeathed him $5 million, and his father, William Henry Billy Vanderbilt, bequeathed him around $70 million. Cornelius Vanderbilt II was the president and chairman of the New York Central Railroad, and other members of the Vanderbilt family were among the top industrialists in America. The Breakers cost approximately $12 million to build in the late 19th century, which would be equivalent to around $370 million today when adjusted for inflation. Such a huge estate could accommodate several generations, but the owner built it for his own family. Cornelius Vanderbilt II and his wife, Alice Claypool Gwynn, had 7 children to care for, so they needed lots of space. The original wooden Breakers mansion burned down in 1892, which led Cornelius Vanderbilt II to commission the new fireproof mansion. This was a major influence on the decision to use stone and steel in its construction to prevent a similar disaster. To prevent a similar incident, the owner insisted that the new building be as fireproof as possible. Today, we can see a structure of masonry and steel trusses without wooden parts. Moreover, the boiler was in an underground space below the front lawn, away from the house. When completed in 1895, the Breakers became the grandest and most opulent in the Newport area. Despite its age, the Breakers was equipped with cutting-edge technology for its time, including central heating, electric lighting, and indoor plumbing. The house had its own electrical generating plant, which was quite advanced for the era. You might be interested in who of the 7 children inherited the house upon their father's death in 1899. First, the rights to the mansion were passed to Alice Gwynn Vanderbilt, the wife of the late Cornelius Vanderbilt II. Then, she left the Breakers to her youngest daughter, Countess Gladys Zachenyi. Why? You might be surprised, but none of the other Vanderbilts were interested in the property. Besides, Gladys lacked American property, and she was born a year after her father purchased the Breakers in 1886. Today, the house is open for visitors all year round, except for the 3rd floor. According to the agreement, Cornelius Vanderbilt II's great-grandchildren lived there during the summer. However, this ended in 2018. Countess Gladys Zachenyi leased the property to the Preservation Society of Newport County in 1948. The sum was hilarious, just $1 per year. In 1972, the Preservation Society bought the Breakers for nearly $365,000, which equals $2.7 million today. Why the breakers? The breakers got its name from the waves crashing into the cliffs below. The gorgeous mansion is visible from the Cliff Walk, Newport's 3.5-mile-long scenic trail, another famous Newport attraction. The sprawling estate overlooks the Atlantic Ocean, offering scenic views. Exterior. The breakers' exterior is framed by imposing topiaries. Mature red maples and pin oaks line the pea gravel driveway. The trees grant the breakers extra privacy from Newport neighbors. Many trees were imported, including the blue Atlas cedar from North Africa. Tree-shaded footpaths cross the grounds. The territory also contains a formerly landscaped terrace, rare trees, and flowering shrubs. Interior. While one of the U.S.'s most influential architects, Richard Morris Hunt, designed a striking frame in the Renaissance Revival style, the designers crafted a gorgeous interior with imported Italian and African marble, rare woods, and mosaics from different countries. Some architectural elements, such as the library mantel, were purchased from French chateaux. A few words about a well-thought-out layout. The basement comprises a laundry and staff restrooms. Bronze doors. The main entrance of the breakers features massive bronze doors that weigh nearly a ton each. These doors were designed to convey the grandeur and security of the mansion. The first floor welcomes visitors with an entrance foyer and 2 reception rooms for gentlemen and ladies. The Great Hall is great, not by chance. It measures 50 ft from all sides. Its remarkability is limestone figure groups, marking humanity's progress in art, industry, and science. For example, the Italian astronomer, physicist, and engineer Galileo represents science. The Italian poet, writer, and philosopher Dante, literature, the Greek god of music, prophecy, and healing Apollo. The arts, the Roman god of financial gain, Mercury, speed and commerce, and the Austrian-born American sculptor Karl Bitter sculpture. Remarkably, there's even a figure of the breakers' creator, Richard Morris Hunt, representing architecture. The Great Hall's 50-foot-high ceiling was inspired by Italian open-air courtyards. The mansion's Great Hall, which is the central gathering space, measures an astonishing 45 feet by 72 feet and is 50 feet high. It was designed to impress guests and showcase the Vanderbilt family's wealth and social status. The library at the breakers is also located on the first floor. It features coffered ceilings painted with a dolphin, a symbol of the sea and hospitality. The central library contains 2 busts, a marble of Cornelius Vanderbilt II and a bronze of his oldest child, William Henry Vanderbilt II, who died of typhoid at the age of 21 while being a student at Yale University. The library boasts a fireplace taken from a 16th-century French chateau. There's a noteworthy inscription, "I laugh at great wealth and never miss it. Nothing but wisdom matters in the end." The library was a place of socialization for the family. There, Mrs. Cornelius Vanderbilt II and her daughters loved to have tea, as depicted in the 1932 painting by British artist William Bruce Ellis Rankin. Like many grand homes of the period, the breakers includes several hidden doors and secret passages. These were used by servants to move discreetly through the house without disturbing the guests. The music room featured an open interior, perfect for dances and recitals. Its highlights are artistic woodwork, tasteful furnishings, a gilt coffered ceiling lined with silver and gold, and an elliptical ceiling molding with the French inscription of song, harmony, and melody. The names of iconic composers are around the edge. The music room was a significant hub for the Vanderbilts. Here, Mr. Vanderbilt liked to play the violin, and Mrs. Vanderbilt the mahogany piano. The atmosphere looked cozy due to the fireplace, which was campan marble, and the matching tables. Overall, There are 27 fireplaces in the breakers. The morning room faces east to admire the morning sun, but the Vanderbilts actually used it throughout the day. All the woodwork and furnishings in the room originate from France. They were shipped to America before assembly. High-quality platinum-leafed panels illustrate 8 of the 9 muses. The billiards room was designed in the style of ancient Rome. An assortment of semi-precious stones creates mosaics of acorns, which was the Vanderbilt family emblem, symbolizing strength and longevity, and billiard balls on the top walls. These exquisite tile mosaics were hand-set by skilled European artisans. The mahogany furniture in the Renaissance style nicely contrasts with the colored marble. The dining room is the house's grandest room. It's 2,400 square feet. The room features 12 freestanding rose alabaster Corinthian columns and a colossal carved and gilt cornice. The Roman goddess of dawn, Aurora, is depicted on the ceiling. A grand 16th century style table made of carved oak can host up to 34 people. The finest materials were used for the room decor, including baccarat crystal for the chandeliers. The breakers was the setting for many extravagant parties and social gatherings, often attended by the most influential and wealthy individuals of the time. These events were showcases of the Vanderbilt family's social standing and hospitality. The breakfast room served family morning meals. It was equipped with modified Louis XV-style paneling and furnishings. The pantry was used for the storage of the family's table silver. Remarkably, the Vanderbilts brought their table silverware with them when they traveled and also stored it in a steel vault. There was an intercom system, allowing the butler to direct the designated servants to the particular locations at home. Each number on the caller corresponded to a room's number. Remember we mentioned Cornelius Vanderbilt II did everything he could to make his home fireproof. The kitchen was situated on the first floor, just for that reason. Such a location also helped prevent cooking smells from reaching the main parts of the house. The kitchen was well ventilated and equipped with a cast-iron stove, a zinc work table, and a marble mortar to crush different ingredients. There was no refrigerator, but the old methods worked nicely. The staff cut ice from the local ponds in winter to keep the side rooms cool to store the food. 2 dumbwaiters in the kitchen and baking pantry traveled to the basement level to deliver groceries. Mr. Vanderbilt's bedroom was on the 2nd floor. It was designed in the opulent Louis XIV style, the beds of carved walnut and the mantel of rouge royal marble. Unfortunately, Cornelius Vanderbilt II didn't have much time to enjoy the bedroom. He lived here only a year before dying of a stroke in 1899. Mrs. Vanderbilt's bedroom was shaped in an ideal oval and had multiple doors leading to other bedrooms. She had 4 closets to change clothing up to 7 times per day. A pager helped Mrs. Vanderbilt to delegate family needs to the staff. The bedroom also served as her study, so you can see many bookshelves. The discreetly designed corridors allowed female servants to invisibly take care of the laundry. Miss Gertrude Vanderbilt, daughter of Cornelius II and Alice, was a remarkable woman. She wished her husband to love her for her personality, not for her wealth or family. After she married an American businessman, Harry Payne Whitney, Gertrude became an artist. Therefore, her bedroom features multiple pieces of her artwork, including The Engineer, inspired by her brother during World War I, and The Laborer. Gertrude Vanderbilt was 19 when the family moved to the Breakers. Above the bed hangs her portrait at age 5, painted by a Spanish artist, Raimundo de Madrazo y Garreta, who mainly worked in the realistic style. Besides it, there is a sketch of Gertrude Vanderbilt as a young woman. The upper loggia opens east to the Atlantic Ocean. The Vanderbilts used it as an informal living room. The glass doors overlooking the Great Hall could be opened in the summer season to let a breeze in. Landscape gardeners James and Ernest Bowditch designed the lawn. 20 skilled gardeners took care of its immaculateness as the lawn witnessed many parties. Seaside Terrace. The seaside terrace of the Breakers offers a picturesque setting with sweeping views of the Atlantic Ocean. This terrace was a favorite spot for the Vanderbilt family and their guests to relax and enjoy the ocean breeze. The guest bedroom was designed in the Louis XVI style, with characteristic furniture, light fixtures, and woodwork. It is a favorite style for a house of our contemporary, the iconic French couturier Christian Dior, who implemented it in his Parisian apartment. If you are interested, check out the video we've made on the brief tour around his opulent home to see how the decor looks in modern times. The bedroom of Countess Chechenier, the youngest daughter who inherited the Breakers, was designed in 18th century simple elegance. Interior decorator Ogden Codman implemented an ivory and cream-colored motif in this room. The second floor also reportedly had a nursery and a nanny's bedroom. The third floor has 8 bedrooms and a sitting room with walnut paneling in Louis XVI style by Ogden Codman. The north wing, with nearly 18-foot-high ceilings, was reserved for domestic servants. Richard Morris Hunt actually made 2 separate third floors to locate many servant bed chambers. This was the mansion's peculiarity because its Italian Renaissance-style configuration included a pitched roof, while the flat-roofed French classical houses in the area offered a concealed wing for staff. The 2 third-floor staff quarters had 30 bedrooms. The mezzanine entresol floor included 3 extra bedrooms for the butler, chef, and visiting valet. The attic floor featured more staff quarters, general storage areas, and innovative cisterns. One of these cisterns supplied hydraulic pressure for the 1895 Otis elevator. The house was wired for electricity in 1933, but the Otis elevator still functions. 2 larger cisterns supplied the Breakers' bathrooms with fresh and salt water. The home is highly valued for its architectural splendor, making contemporaries call Hunt the Dean of American Architecture. For more than 125 years, it has entertained presidents, royalty, and other noble guests from all over the world. The Breakers has been featured in numerous films, television shows, and documentaries. It remains a cultural icon, symbolizing the wealth and excess of America's Gilded Age. The house was designated a National Historic Landmark in 1994. It is now a museum open throughout the year. What do you think of this imposing home? Have you been on a tour of this house? Did you like it? Please share your thoughts with us. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing for more content like this.